Hello, everyone. The upcoming Leo new moon is exactly opposite Pluto, illuminating and highlighting the planet of power and transformation. But whose power is it? Is it our power or is it the powers that be's power? Let's take a look at the chart. As I said, it's going to be on the 24th of July at 8:11 p.m. London time. We have a Capricorn rising. So actually Saturn is the chart ruler. The Saturn-Neptune conjunction rules this chart. And as you can see, Sun Moon is exactly opposite Pluto. And whenever something is opposite the sun is able to fully illuminate it as it is. And Pluto, the power of and transformation symbol, usually remains hidden. Think about the mythology when Hades, Pluto, the lord of the underworld, comes to the surface. It usually wears a helmet that renders him invisible, and that's exactly what's happening. The real power behind the imminent, let's say, the imminent power behind the apparent power is always hidden. We never know. It doesn't have a name. It doesn't. We know it acts. We know that it is trying to transform the world before our very eyes. But at the same time, we don't know who they are. We just know that they have immense power against us. But now, this power is illuminated by the luminaries. And the rest of the chart has many conjunctions. For instance, the Mars South Node conjunction is already separating. It simply teaches us to tap into to the reservoir of knowledge that was ours and use it in our benefit. Three asteroid goddesses are joining: Juno, the First Lady, Black Moon Lilith, the goddess who returns to the Garden of Eden because she understands that she has something to do there to give the second wife Eve power and the soul, and Vesta the focusing principle. Saturn Neptune is always about the architect who is creating something. In Aries, the bird seems to be creating war. But on the personal level, you can create whatever you want because Aries symbolizes the will, how you exercise your will, what you want to do as an individual, how much power as an individual you have. And Saturn Neptune can simply symbolize this is what I want and this is what I'm going to build. And of course, Aries Chiron is this year's main karmic astrological feature. It's a very rare aspect. It is actually it forms about every 50-55 years. Aries is drastically altered outward circumstances. This is what you see in the world. The world is it seems to be falling apart, and Chiron is karmic wounds, and in Aries it represents wounds around wars, violence, aggression, blood, pain. The Sedna-Uranus conjunction is another interesting feature of this year. Sedna is creation through dissection. It symbolizes that you can actually take your life or anything else apart and look at the bits and pieces, find those that are no longer working, throw them out, and create from the rest of the pieces something that is usable and feasible. And now Uranus is giving it some kind of power because Uranus is chaos and anarchy, but also change. And the key here is change. The world is changing. Before our eyes, it is completely changing. It seems to be falling apart, but you as an individual have the power to create something new out of the bits and pieces that are still working. And Dark Moon Lilith, which is the acceptance of the curse, is conjunct retrograde Mercury, which is ruled by the sun, by the way. And so this is a very powerful new moon. It's one of the most powerful new moons, of course, because it's in Leo. So those are the key items in the chart. And we have a classic trapeze, which is the base is the sun moon opposite Pluto. Look at the power, look at what is empowering you and what is overpowering you, and do something about it. The inside of the trapeze are two trines, which are giving you the blessings. And the sides of the trapeze are sextiles, creating potentials, and the top is the stage where you can actually step up and you can tell the world what you want, and you can create something out in the open air. Let's put it this way. And the top of the stage is created by the Saturn Neptune, build something, create something on the real level, and the Uranus Sedna, change whatever is not working in your life and create something that is working. So that is the trapeze. And there's also an angel wing involving Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, and Lilith, asteroid Lilith. So all three Liliths are quite prominent in this chart. If you are interested in the Liliths, I have about 5 videos, both in Hungarian and in English. The 3 astrological Liliths, and then how to work with them. You can find it on my channel. And asteroid Lilith is revolt against injustice. And Angel Wing is the tiniest of the constellations, of the tiniest of the planetary pictures. So you and the apex is always where the energy is accumulating, and now Lilith, revolt against injustice, is accumulating the power of Pluto and Saturn, Neptune, the architect. And here are the transcendental celestial objects. On the sun moon, you have China, and China is becoming a world leader, a world player, for good and better, or for worse, we don't know yet. But it's a very ancient culture. Don't look at China just as it's a communist country and whatever. Look at it as a 3,000-year-old empire that really created a lot of interesting and marvelous things. Eurydice, who is the wife archetype, the wife who dies and is worth going down to the underworld, to hell, in order to bring her back. But of course, it is impossible. No one has returned from hell yet. And Eaclos, which is a centaur, and a centaur describing the dilemma between truth and reality. You may have very strong truths in yourself, in your psyche. You may believe in your own truths. But when the outside reality is completely different, then the two clash. And that is horrible. That is really dismantling the psyche, and many times. And then Kaitos, which is the beta star of Set, and actually the status, the veil, the celestial veil, and it represents the ideas and hidden things of the subconscious coming to the surface. And then Uranus Sedna has Psyche, the soul, and the Pleiades, which is the home of the creator goddess. And on Pluto, we have Altair, which is Alpha Aquila, which is one of the so-called shaman stars, which are leading us towards the world tree. There's also a mystic rectangle well, actually a complex planetary picture, mystic rectangle, an angel wing, and the finger of fate in the London chart with the nodes and the ascendant descendant. A mystic rectangle is always beautiful. It does have 2 oppositions which are not. I didn't put it here because it doesn't really matter. You know that the ascendant and descendant are opposite each other, and so are the nodes. And those are the inner energy, the inner drive. And the 2 sextiles give you potentials, and the 2 trines give you blessing. The finger of fate has Pallas Athena, the goddess of wisdom, at its apex. So this is where it can be resolved. And so is the angel wing. So again, another angel wing that has Pallas Athena, the goddess of wisdom, at its apex. And it's what you can do in under these circumstances that is described by this particular planetary picture. And here are transcendental celestial objects. On the ascendant, you have Sphinx, secrets, and Rukbat, which is Alpha Sagittarius, the Alpha Star, which is the foot of the celestial centaur, where it stabilizes itself before shooting the arrow. So, according to Bernadette Brady, Rukbat means steadiness and strength. This is what you can learn on this world. On this descendant, you have Vasat, Delta Gemini, which is the elbow of the celestial, one of the celestial twins. This is the world where we learn to make decisions. Decision-making factors are here. On the North Node, you have Artemis, who is the twin of Apollo, the sun god. She's the moon, and she represents the creative feminine. And Plotinus, who was a very important philosopher in the ancient world. And in the South Node, you have Nike, the euphoria of victory, the goddess of victory, and Tisiphone, the goddess of retribution. Interesting. That is what you can learn from the past. And on Pulse Athena, you have Ginevra and Virtus. Ginevra is, again, a wife archetype, and Virtus means virtues. There's also a forceps. A forceps is made by a little engine, sextile, square, and quincunx. And the dissolved opposition is here's the tip of the forceps, which you can use by, like highlighting, pointing, pinpointing, grabbing the essence. And here the essence is the past, karmic roots, I see, and Venus, money, harmony, creativity. The dissolved opposition is actually the MCIC angle and Mars. So actually the militant will is going to dissolve the dilemma between past and future. And the little engine is made up by the future, midheaven, and the Venus-Mars square, which is the clash between masculine and feminine powers. And here are the transcendental celestial objects. On the midheaven, you have Medusa, the serpent-headed monster who turns everyone into stone. But actually, Medusa represents the rage of the raped and murdered feminine. And Unukalhai is Alpha Serpent. The serpent holder and serpent are really one constellation. Ophiuchus is holding the head and the tail of the serpent. And Unukalhai, which is this Alpha Serpents, so the Alpha star of the snake, is the snake power energy. It is the healing powers, not, of course, not allopathic, but homeopathic and other remedies. And on Mars, you have Danabola, Beta Leo, which is the whole constellation Leo is about rulership, reign, and sovereignty, where we learn how to become rulers. And Danabola is the instinctual level of ruling. And on Venus, you have Thetis, and Venus is at the moment on the star pathway. This is Gemini 21 to 24, 25 degrees. You have a number of bright stars. I think I definitely do have it in Hungarian, but I think I created it in English as well. Jupiter on the star pathway, the star way, something like that. Here. This is the ecliptic, this is the celestial equator, and Gemini 21, 24 degrees. This region has like 8 or 9 very bright, very important fixed stars. At the moment, Venus is at 22 degrees 40, exactly conjunct Arneb. Arneb is the alpha star of the celestial hare, the bunny. And what is a hare? What is a bunny? First of all, she is very cautious. She can hide. She can blend into nature. But at the same time, she's very, very fast. She's a funny animal. Children love it, of course. And at the same time, she's smart, fast, and cautious. That is what you can learn on this world. Capella is the alpha star of Auriga, and this is the third stage of suicide victims. when they learn how to go back into the society and become a free-moving, free spirit after the terrible mistake of throwing away our lives. We need to. Actually, it's very funny because not very funny, but if we look at mind, body, and soul or spirit. I like the word spirit as well. So mind, body, soul. Let's look at it this way. All three levels of humanness. I don't know whether you have such a word. If not, I apologize. But anyhow, these aspects all have a mortal sin. If on the physical level, the greatest sin you can commit is to kill yourself off, to murder yourself, to destroy the physical body. On the mental level, the greatest sin is to retain information that could help someone, which and it could help, that it would help someone, and you don't say it, you don't disclose it. And on the spiritual level or soul level, the greatest sin is when you retain your love, when you don't give your love to someone who needs it. And so those are the levels of sins. Anyhow, Elnat is the beta star of Taurus, and it represents the need to sometimes fight for our well-being and equilibrium, because it's the tip of the horn of the celestial bull. And this is the Orion Nebula, and all nebulas are linked to insight and eyesight as well. Mintaka is spot on the celestial equator. It's one of the bad stars, and it creates the balance, divine balance. And Fact is a very southern star. It is the constellation Dove, and it represents peace. So those are the features of this particular Leo new moon. Happy new moon, and highlight and illuminate not just your power, but those around you. Be empowered. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.